This is such a random video. I wasn't going to do a video today, but I was kind of just scrolling on X and I saw what's taking place here. Paul Atkins, Senate Banking Committee nomination hearing here in Dirksen Senate building on Capitol Hill. I want to start the video. We're going to look at ADA charts. This is going to be pretty much a crypto video, but very focused on Cardano. I'm a Cardano bull and I really want to look at the charts. But I want to start the video very briefly with a quick clip. This was months ago in September 2024. And then I want to talk about the incoming SEC replacement for Gary Gensler. Check out this clip. Chair Gensler in September.
When there's so many fraudsters, scammers, grifters in the field, and there are. But what happened?
Man, I don't know if you were here or not, but he was on an absolute campaign, not only just lawsuit after lawsuit against crypto companies, trying to destroy crypto, but really trying to brand you and I as fraudsters and hucksters nonstop. It was his campaign tour on all of these media channels. And so the reason I'm bringing that up is because right now this is going on. Paul Atkins in the Senate Banking Committee nomination hearing. And this is going on right now. This is him.
Richard Breeden as an attorney fellow and ultimately as chief of staff. I then served as.
So this Senate committee hearing is live right now. And I want to just talk a little bit about Paul Atkins. So let me just start here, and then I'm going to talk about how this kind of applies to Cardano. Incoming SEC chair Paul Atkins owns up to $6 million in crypto-related assets, though no Bitcoin. As this relates to Cardano, this is where things kind of become interesting. And I don't know if you've seen this before. I've posted it a while ago on X, but check this out. This is input-output 4 or 5 years ago in July 2020. Check this out.
We're very, very lucky today to be joined by the former commissioner of the US Securities and Exchange Commission to discuss exactly these issues and the prospects for mainstream adoption. Paul Atkins.
Well, thank you, Rod. It's great to be here with you today. Thank you.
So Paul Atkins, who is right now in a live stream, just being nominated, going to be nominated to replace Gary Gensler as SEC chair, just nonchalantly years ago on Cardano's input-output YouTube channel. Just nonchalantly. That is how quick things have pivoted. And when we're looking at charts nonstop, we're looking at price nonstop, these things matter. As a value investor, these things matter. Right now, we could be in a world where Biden won, Gensler's still sitting in there, but we're not. And even if we were in that world, I'd still be bullish on Cardano. I'd still be bullish on the crypto space. But this changes things immensely. And I think even more so for the people out there that can zoom out, the people out there that are macro, long-term value investors. So that's what's happening. And I think that's a big deal for crypto. It's a huge deal for crypto, Bitcoin, altcoins, everything. It's just pretty cool to see. Paul Atkins was on the input-output YouTube channel. But here's what else we got going on right now with altcoins and for ADA. Interactive Brokers adds Solana, XRP, ADA, and Doge to its crypto trading platform. Why is it a big deal? I like this kind of I don't know if this is AI or not, but this comment just kind of giving some important points. The company has a robust financial position holding over $15.2 billion in equity capital. That's quite a lot of money. And Interactive Brokers adding ADA and others to its crypto trading platform. And you might have seen this. ADA is now live on Nubank, a Berkshire-backed neobank with over 100 million users across Latin America. Berkshire Hathaway. That is to say, Warren Buffett. What's going on here, everybody? Institutional exposure to Cardano continues to grow. And so we go to a chart, and here's where we are. And, I like to just take and even cherry pick just different headlines that are happening kind of in real time for things like crypto, obviously, and things like Cardano. And in this case, we just looked at a few points. And then I like to come to the charts. And then I like to kind of speculate on price as a value investor. And there's just some things I wanted to talk about as it relates to this. Just some couple of reminders to kind of tie together with all this ADA news that is happening right now. We see adoption. I think people are like, come on, where's price? Why is price not breaking out? And there's probably many answers to that question, but one very simple answer is kind of the monetary cycle that we've been within. And I've been using this chart, and that is to say, let me get rid of this. But I've been using this chart basically to just really illustrate the point. Last bull market, if you were here, maybe you weren't here, we were getting that liquidity pump, Fed net liquidity pump. And that's something we're waiting for right now. And I know people might not like hearing this, but just look at this. Even exiting the bear market, there was a little pump right there, right? In green. And exiting the bear market and then coming back down, you see Fed net liquidity. And we got this pump again coming out of the bear market, which is great, kind of diverged a little bit. But right now we're waiting for QT to slow down. We're waiting for QT to wind down. And what I really want to point out is if you go back here to March, April 2022, this is when QT was beginning, right? So a lot of people are kind of fearful, like, man, this move here, falling into a bear market, we're getting ready to do it now, fall into a bear market. Well, again, this was quantitative tightening beginning. Right now, as we go into April, we're going to start seeing quantitative tightening, not completely ending right away, but winding down. And so with that can come, and I know I've been saying this a lot, can come the increase in Fed net liquidity on this chart. And with that can come the continuation of the bull move for ADA. But even just ignoring that for a moment, I just want to make a point on the ADA chart. Just look at this. I don't know when you got into ADA. I don't know when you started even watching my content. I've been covering ADA since the last bull market. We saw crazy gains. We entered the bear market with the rest of crypto, but I've been following ADA through it all. And even through the bottoming out of the bear market. I mean, ADA just hanging out in the 30s for like years, basically. And right now we're 73 cents. It is not bad. But even speaking to that further, it's kind of like, all right, well, even if there's going to be a more downside and choppiness going into maybe April with even the next week, tariffs, Liberation Day for America, people might freak out about it. But once that's over and once QT actually does start winding down, we go a little lower on ADA. I'm not saying this is definitely going to happen, but even if, what's wrong with this chart if you're a macro investor, right? What is wrong with the chart? We start getting that liquidity. The rest of 2025 plays out well. And not only that, going into 2026, and we have a different type of cycle on our hands. All of these charts are already looking different, right? You look at a Bitcoin chart, it's already looking different. Things are diverging. And I think a lot of that has to do with the Fed monetary cycles and how, the Fed balance sheet is operating right now compared to previous cycles. And we've talked a lot about this in previous videos. But no matter what, all of these charts are looking incredibly bullish to me. We've seen a bottoming out. We saw a higher low. Right now, we're trying to put in a higher low, whether that's in the 70s, whether it's going to be down here in the 50s. I don't know. Whether it's going to even dip below that area in the 40s, I do not know. But either way, I see a trend here. And either way, I see the adoption for Cardano happening. Institutional exposure to Cardano continues to grow. And it is just getting started. It really seems that way. So I wanted to kind of do this video. It was kind of a last second video just because I saw this happening with Paul Atkins in the Senate Banking Committee nomination hearing. And I just thought, really, the story is coming together very nicely, especially if you do remember what was happening not long ago with this guy right here. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below, everybody. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.